Donald Trump said the cost of living crisis is fake news, a con job by the Democrats. Mr. Speaker, 60% of Americans can't afford a basic quality of life. 45% have had to skip a doctor's appointment or a prescription because they can't afford it. 41% are living with medical debt. The American people are simply not making it. Not only is that crisis real, it is a crisis that Republicans promised to solve. Voters believe them. And now, after a 54-day hiatus, what are Republicans doing? They're voting to raise the cost of living. They're voting to make it even harder to get by. Not by some marginal amount. They are doubling, tripling, and quadrupling monthly premiums. And what's the defense? They are looking people in the eye and flat out gaslighting them. Costs aren't up, costs are down. Trump says, I don't want to hear about the affordability. Well, get used to hearing about it. You're going to hear about it a lot because people are feeling it every single day. People can't make rent. They can't afford their prescriptions. They can't afford to take their kid to a doctor. They can't find childcare, and when they find it, they can't afford that either. Grocery and utility bills are spiking. This is the crisis of our time, and it's about to get exponentially worse because the GOP's craven allegiance to billionaires over working people. The cost of living crisis is not fake news. It's not a perception issue. It is daily life for the people that we all represent. So let's do something about it. Let's reject this budget. Let's stop the healthcare cuts. Let's stop the premium hikes. Let's stop the hospital closures. And let's stop the billionaire giveaways. I yield back.
Joining us now is Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton. He serves on 3 Senate committees, including the Senate Armed Services Committee and the Select Committee on Intelligence, where he is the chairman. Chairman Cotton, welcome to This Week on Capitol Hill. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Tony.
All right. Before we get to the resolution, you chair the Senate Intelligence Committee. You've been very vocal about this. Your reaction to the capture and arrest of Nicolas Maduro?
Well, it was an exceptional operation conducted by our troops and our intelligence officers. Truly only the United States could have achieved such a flawless execution of a highly dangerous and risky mission without the loss of American life. It is a very good day for the United States, for Venezuela, and for the cause of stability, order, and prosperity in our own backyard. Venezuela is really unique in Latin America. Some countries don't have control of their whole territory. Cartels operate in that territory. Other countries tolerate the presence of these cartels. In Venezuela, the government was the drug cartel. It was in league with drug traffickers. That's why Nicolas Maduro was a U.S. indicted drug trafficker. Furthermore, Venezuela has turned into a crossroads and a playground for every American enemy around the world: China, Russia, Cuba, Iran, even Islamic terrorists like Hezbollah. And they were using Venezuelan territory to radiate threats out to the United States. So I think the president was right to act decisively after trying diplomacy and trying to let Maduro go into exile. Hundreds of Arkansans, thousands of Americans who have lost loved ones to drug addiction will now get a measure of justice. And we hope that Venezuela will see a new day. The early signs this week are encouraging from the interim authorities in Venezuela. There's a long way to go. But remember, this was once a stable, prosperous, pro-American country before Hugo Chavez and Nicolas Maduro turned it into a virulent anti-American country. We want to return it to those roots. We want to have pro-American countries in our backyard.
So based on what you know, Senator, beyond the drug trafficking, which, as you've pointed out, affects families all across this country. Was it also becoming a staging ground for potential terrorist activity and attacks on the United States, much like what we saw in Gaza with Israel?
Yes, Tony, without question. Again, that's why Iran, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, which is the shock troops for the Ayatollahs, even terrorists like Hezbollah were present in Venezuela. It's one thing for countries like Russia and China to have intelligence operatives masquerading as diplomats. That happens in a lot of countries around the world. It's another thing.
And unfortunately, my family story is far from unique from folks across this country. I have constituents. I'm proud to serve one of the densest congressional districts for veterans, more veterans than most in my state. And I have constituents who come up to me at town halls and even at the grocery store with stories of their own mental health challenges, having come back from serving this nation abroad. And they're...
Well, I'm so honored, con tanto orgullo que estoy aquí con el monstruo mexicano de Benavides. And
when men can approach a female in a car and say this to her and expect her to immediately respond in a positive manner, and if she does not and attempts to drive away, if they can take her life, I fear for our lives. Make it count. It doesn't count because the words are on paper. It's how we react and behave in response to the words that are on paper.
Support of the American people. We cannot continue the status quo that's given us $38 trillion in debt with poor outcomes. It's impossible to have a healthcare system that prioritizes the health of the American citizens and ensures quality and affordable and accessible healthcare while also spending responsibly. It is possible to do that. We can do better. We can make reforms. We can deliver these services that are vital, and we could do it with more respect for
their championship. These student athletes have made their school and families proud and proven to themselves and the Commonwealth that the town of Randolph has the talent, commitment, and the tenacity to succeed on and off the field. To Superintendent Stovall, Herndon, to Principal Lick.
This is so important. We don't want millions of people losing their health care insurance. So something